We begin this edition of Odyssey House Journals with a little guess quiz. I know you hate these. And next to Salt Lake City, what would be the city that listens to us most in the United States?
Columbus, Ohio.
That was a good guess because it's always been Columbus, hasn't it? Stacy, any guess? Throw out a city. Think hot city.
L.A.
Well, that's close. Phoenix, Arizona. That's next to Salt Lake City over the last 30 days.
Is that where our new 8,000 listeners are, do you think?
I don't know. Yeah, we revealed on the last podcast that we have 8,000 new listeners, and Matt, our producer, is shaking his head no, because the 8,000 would be accumulation of all of our listeners. So anyway, just a little trivia there. So hello, Phoenix. I know you're getting ready for the hot summer, so welcome, and we're glad you're listening. And welcome to everyone else who is watching or listening to another edition of Odyssey House Journals. I'm your host, Randall Carlisle, my co-host, Nicole Slack. Have you ever been to Phoenix?
No, but my daughter just moved to Arizona. I don't know what part.
Maybe she's spreading the word.
Maybe she is.
So thank her.
Good job, Kaylee.
And our person in long-term recovery is Stacy Pett. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
And you said you were nervous.
I am nervous.
See, you forget about the cameras and forget about the microphones and the lights and all that kind of stuff, and we're just have a conversation. You've been in recovery for how long?
It'll be 6 years in August.
Wow.
Yep.
Way to go.
Thank you.
And I was asking you just before the podcast how you found recovery. And I found it very interesting because a lot of the people, obviously, because Nicole and I know people who are in Odyssey House, have gone through Odyssey House, and you didn't go through Odyssey House.
I did not. I actually did a program called Excel at the prison. And I didn't complete it, but I just did it for a short time and then got transferred to Odyssey House when they released me.
To Orange Street.
Orange Street. Yeah, that's right. Orange Street. So I did Orange Street program for about 9 months.
Okay. Tell us a little about your past, how your addiction started, what the drug was, and how old you were, and how all that happened.
Yeah, so I didn't start using drugs till I was 30.
Whoa.
Yeah. And the
Late bloomer.
Yeah. And the first hard drug I ever tried was heroin.
You just started out with heroin.
I guess
Went for it.
Yep. I was dating somebody that was doing heroin, and I had no idea what it was, and tried it, and then lost everything. Was in and out of jail, started selling heroin and cocaine, and got a distribution charge, and ended up going to prison. And
what was the first? I'm always curious because a lot of people talk about chasing the dragon. What the first time you use heroin is supposed to be euphoric as hell, but then it goes downhill after that. What was it like?
Well, I was drinking at the time pretty heavily as well, so it was just one of those things that I tried while I was drinking, and it made you feel amazing, right? And so I was addicted for a couple years and was in and out of jail, and ended up going to prison. And then I was sober for 15 months and relapsed with another person I was dating that hid it from me that they were getting high, and ended up relapsing with that person. And
did you ever think of finding better boyfriends?
Yeah, girlfriends at the time, but yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Whatever.
Yeah.
There is a great influence. An awful lot of people we talk to say that it became that they participated in the addiction because of their partner.
Yeah.
And it's just that it's hard to fight at that point, right?
Yep.
Because you think you're in love and all that kind of stuff.
That's exactly how it was for me. Not once, but twice.
Did your partner tell you that she wanted you to use heroin like she was using heroin, or?
The first one did, yeah. So it was like I didn't know anything about it, and they just told me, if you don't use it every day, you're going to be the sickest you've ever been, and I didn't want to experience that. And it was fun at the time, like being with this person that I cared about and doing drugs, and I'd never done drugs before.
It took you until the age of 30. I mean, what was when you were a teenager and growing up, you didn't?
I mean, I smoked weed here and there, but it was never really my thing. I didn't really like the way it made me feel. So I just drank heavily. I was a heavy drinker growing up, but like hard drugs, I didn't really know anything about them until 30.
When you first did heroin because your partner wanted you to, did you inject it or snort it or what?
Just smoked it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
How long did that last? Like your addiction?
With heroin, probably like 2 years, I would say, like heavily 2 years. Lost everything really quickly, my car, my apartment, everything, my jobs. And with the second person, I relapsed on meth, and I had only done meth a couple of times, and that started like a whole new spiral.
It's wild to explain to people. Like, I know some people can be addicts forever, but I was not in like binge drinking and doing all that for very long, and I lost everything. And it's so hard to explain to people.
Yeah.
They're like, why didn't you just maintain a job? And I was like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
And
do you think about it while you're in the process of losing everything, or does it just happen real quick?
I think it just starts happening.
It just happens really, really quickly. Like I got sober off of heroin and relapsed on meth, and then started doing bath salt. And I was sober, like I said, for 15 months, and I had only started getting high for 2 weeks and got arrested and went back to prison and lost everything. And I was in prison 2 years the first time, and then a parole violation a year the second time. Wow. So, and then that was the last time I used, and that was 6 years ago.
What'd you get busted for the last time?
So my friend, I was with my friend, and she had a car, and she told me she was too tired to drive and wanted me to drive.
Whoa.
And it was a stolen vehicle. So I was in the car like literally a minute and a half and got pulled over and went back to prison.
Driving a stolen vehicle.
And I didn't know it was stolen.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, you do need
Great life choices.
Better friends, I was going to say.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that was the last time I used, because it just goes downhill so quickly, and like, it's not worth it.
And so would you consider yourself, you must have an addictive personality. I know I do. It scares me to use anything again.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody does to a certain point. When it comes to anything, you can be addicted. I mean, there's vaping and soda and food. Like, there's so many addictive things that people could get addicted
Just some
to.
are a lot more damaging than others.
Yep.
So you how did you? So you got out of Orange Street, and what happened in your life that you ended up working, which is the part we'll talk about here, working at Odyssey House?
So I actually had a friend that was working here as part-time staff. That's what they were called at the time. And I needed a job, and she told me, this is a really easy job. You just, mingle with the people that are here. You pass some meds, and you run a group sometimes. And I was like, okay, I could do that. So I started actually at Lighthouse. I was BHT over there for about 3 weeks.
Behavioral health tech for the people watching.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's what we call them now, yeah.
And Lighthouse is one of our facilities. So you got to understand, a lot of people who don't know.
I know, I
about
forget.
Odyssey here, so.
Yeah, so I was part-time staff for about 3 weeks. A shift lead position opened up at the downtown house. So I interviewed for it, and my boss at the time, Melissa Chavez, she offered me 2 options. She said, you can either come and be the shift lead downtown, or you can run Upshop, which is currently a quarantine house. And this was during COVID.
Ah,
Hard pass on that, right?
No, so I did it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so that's when I chose.
you chose the up shop?
Yeah, I did. 3 weeks in.
The reason we call it's one of our facilities. I keep trying to put myself in the place of somebody who just
Yeah.
tunes into this for the first time, and we call it Up Shop because it's a building behind one of our other buildings, and it used to, in years gone by, be an upholstery shop. And at one point, and I don't know what era it was because we've been around since 1971. We were known for doing some of the best upholstery in the Salt Lake Valley, and I think maybe and so we were well respected, and actually we made some money off the whole thing because we were known for reupholstering stuff, and I think the demand for something like that has almost disappeared. Because people, if they have a worn-out couch or whatever, they just throw it away or donate it and buy a new one. Which,
Yeah.
So I guess we used to do just wonderful work, and we're highly respected. And for our clients to work in that and train in that, they fought to get into that program because
Great
it was a needed skill at the time. But now I guess it's sort of like a shoe repair place or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you went with Up Shop
I did.
during COVID.
Yeah.
And for those of you out there, you all know what you went through with COVID, and we went through hell trying to, because we have so many congregant facilities, trying to isolate, trying to figure out a way to handle COVID. Is what
Yeah.
I should say. It was difficult.
It was. It was a lot. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into when I accepted this challenge, and I kind of just threw myself into the fire, so to speak. Like I UA'd people. So when people come into the houses now after going through admissions, they have to go through an onboarding process where they have to get all their things searched and their person searched and UA'd and all their calls set up, and me and 2 other people were literally doing all of that. So they would stay in the house for a week to 2 weeks, and we would search in their stuff. We would UA them. We would search them. We would get them beds. We would get them hygiene. We would do everything. So I was doing meds, and I was doing therapy with them, and I was case manager, and I was shift lead too. And when people were positive for COVID, we had to test them as well. And then we had to call the health department, and they would come in their hazmat suits and come and pick them up and take them to the Red Lion. And it was a crazy time.
How many does Up Shop hold? How many clients?
25.
And the thing is,
There's 3 people.
Yeah.
she was like in the line of fire because we changed policy partway through COVID, and we figured out the best way to handle it is to put everybody into Up Shop, and we could only take in enough people that Up Shop could handle.
Yep.
And then we'd see after a couple of weeks whether they were positive or not for COVID. So you were exposed.
Yeah.
Did you get COVID?
Never. Not once.
Did you get your shot?
No. Well, I did get one the very first time Odyssey recommended us to get it.
That's
And forced us to get it. Yes, I got it one time, but I never got COVID. Not one time.
Wow.
Yep.
And there were a lot of people.
There was a lot of people that had it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And for those of you watching outside of our area, the way that county health department handled it in a situation like, say, ours, is they go into the facility that she was helping to run, and when somebody tested positive, we had another facility in an older hotel that's in downtown Salt Lake where they put everybody who tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
It was a strange time.
It was.
I'm just picturing like Monsters Inc. when the sock goes on the guy's back and they're like coming.
That's really what it felt like. Like I was like, is this necessary for you guys to come in full hazmat suits and pick people up? Like people were scared.
Yeah.
rightfully so, but
And they're like coming off drugs.
yes.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
that. You're coming down from something, God, and I was pissed off because my regular AA meeting was at the Salt Lake County Rec Center, which is on 6th South near 4th East or something. And they shut that whole place down because they were another place where people with COVID were taken. So I no longer had my AA meetings, and selfishly, I was pissed off about it. So back to you and forgetting about COVID.
Yeah.
So you are now, what did we recognize you as employee of the month?
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're in charge of all the behavioral health techs.
Yes.
In a house that holds how many clients?
80 people
80 people.
in a tall, skinny building that is super chaotic all the time.
That's the first time I went in there,
Nicole
I
was there.
called it organized chaos because there is a method to the madness there,
Yeah, there is.
And do you enjoy the job? I mean, you've been there for a while.
Yeah. I've been supervising for about 4 years and 9 months. So about the whole time, like I said, I was only employed with Odyssey for about a month before I moved into this position.
Wow.
And so I have 18 staff members I manage right now, plus 80 clients, and working on all of their UAs. And I run everything disco. Everything disco I handle. So their level groups, their orgs, their packets, everything like that.
Those are a bunch of terms that we use in Odyssey for those of you.
Yeah.
For us.
I think, though, the great thing about Stacy is like what you're seeing here is how she is all the time. There will be clients screaming and yelling and elevated, and she just maintains.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever get upset?
I mean, there's been times I've been upset, but I try and keep my cool. Yeah.
I just so admired that about you. I think I was so sassy with you, and you would just treat me so nice. And I was like, I look back now and I'm like, I'm so sorry, Stacy.
It's okay. You were pretty sassy in the beginning, so it's okay.
I think I'm glad I didn't know you back then.
was
You keep
kind of
talking
odd.
about how.
Yeah.
That was pretty terrible.
Yeah, you've come a long way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has. How does this help keep you sober?
Just the connection and this program and the peers that I work with keep me, this program, even though I didn't go through it, this program keeps me sober. And it saved my life, even though I didn't go through this program.
When you go home at night, sometimes I get, and I don't deal with clients as closely as either of you do, but there are a few clients that I'll get sort of close to, and I'll think that this person is going to go on to do great things, and I'm so happy and I like them and that kind of stuff. And you hear that 3 weeks later they left the program and they're back out on the street.
Yeah.
And that causes me to lose sleep some nights.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people, we should tell you that our program is not a lockdown facility and people can walk out anytime they want. Mm-hmm. When you see things like that, how do you deal with it? Don't you get closer to, obviously you must like some people more than others.
Yeah. So. Well, it's really difficult forming connections with all of these people. And there's 80 people at one time. And like I've been there 5 years, and there's a lot of funerals that I've gone to, and that's really difficult. And it's hard seeing people like relapse. But that's why I do what I do, is so they can see, like, if I did it, then they can do it. And like, I just bought my own house and on my own, and I've had it for about 3 years, and like, I'm a success story, And
are you staying away from partners who are addicted to heroin?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That seemed, the whole love partner relationship seems to influence people an awful lot. I've heard of many people leaving Odyssey's program because they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever out there that they're going to, or people running away together because they form an attachment in the program.
Right. Happens a lot.
Does it?
More often than not.
And that's a hard thing to You said you were 30 and your
Yeah.
partner persuaded you to try heroin. Didn't you have any, I mean, I guess your feelings for your partner outweighed your thought about this could be dangerous. I mean,
Yeah,
what were you thinking?
I guess I really wasn't. I didn't really care at the time or didn't really know enough about it to even know what I was doing. Like I didn't even know what heroin was when I tried it.
Really?
No.
You must have grown up sort of sheltered life.
I did. I went to a private school, and I grew up in a family that's never done drugs. My parents have never done drugs. My younger sibling has never done drugs. Like, I'm the only one that's went down that path.
How'd your family deal with this?
They struggled. I actually lost my dad. My dad passed away about 4 years ago. And I was new into my recovery about a year. So I have a lot of guilt when it comes to him because he passed from dementia. So I really wasn't there for him while he was sick and going through everything that he was going through. So I have a lot of guilt surrounding that.
What about the rest of your family? How did they deal with it?
Me and my mother didn't really talk very much. Same with my brother. His wife, my sister-in-law, she was there for me the whole time, no matter what. And like she supported me through everything. So I did have some family members that were there and some not, but I hid it pretty well, so I thought.
It's everybody dealing with addiction thinks that nobody else knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah. And I have 2 kids. My son is 21 and my daughter's 18, and I only used for about 5 years, 6 years. And so just that time period, that's 5 or 6 years going through that, I missed all of those moments with my kids. And I just got to the point where I was tired of hearing them crying and wanting me there because I refused to be around them when I was high. So I just wouldn't go around. So I got tired of listening to them cry and
It's funny
having
how
their hearts break.
you try to protect them by not being around them, and then you're hurting them by not being around them. It's like a lose-lose.
Yeah,
And they were obviously old enough to know what you were doing, right?
they were. They figured it out.
What's your relationship with them now?
My relationship with them now is amazing. And it's taken 6 years to get there. Like a lot of consistency, a lot of doing what I say I'm going to do. And just being there is all that they've wanted. And my daughter is a mama's girl for sure. And it's taken us a long time to get our relationship back to a healthy relationship. And we have standing date night on Fridays, and we go and do something or just hang out, and it's amazing.
Did they ever ask you why you're doing the drugs? I mean, I'm curious what a mother would say to her kids if they wanted to know.
Yeah. Well, I kind of hid it from them at first when I was in prison the first time. Their dad would just tell them, she's getting better. She's somewhere getting better. And
Well, they didn't even know you were in prison?
No. Wow. So they were younger at that point. Like they didn't really know. Like this was 10 years ago. So my daughter was 8. So she didn't really know. But and then I forgot what we were saying.
I just wondered if they ever asked you why you were using drugs, and if you ever had an answer.
Yeah, like I said, I hid it from them at the beginning, but now I'm super open with them. I do tell them everything, and I'm super upfront with them. And any questions they have, I tell them.
And a lot of people say it's genetic, that people become addicted. You said there's nobody in your family.
No.
And what about your kids? Have they dabbled in drugs?
No, not at all.
You're an anomaly. You're just out there.
I hope I scared them away from that. They don't drink or smoke or anything.
Really?
I've been a smoker all my life, and my daughter absolutely hates it. I just made her a promise to quit vaping, so I'm working on that currently.
If you find a good trick.
Yeah.
Question.
It's difficult.
Are you going to do it though?
I am going to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. So what's your future? I mean, you're doing really well at Odyssey House, and it's a comfortable position. You have your own home now. Mm-hmm. What's next?
So I just enrolled at Salt Lake Community College to get my SUD-C. So I'm just going to do my FAFSA and my classes. So just working on that.
And SUD-C stands for what?
Substance
Use disorder
counselor. Yep.
Right. Okay.
You're going to be so good.
Yeah, I hope
Yes,
so.
you will be.
Excited. Yeah.
How long's the program?
Well, I already have an associate's in criminal justice, weirdly. And I got that before I started
Well, you're an
using
expert.
drugs.
Come on.
Yeah, I actually went to school for that before I started using drugs. I wanted to be a crime scene investigator
Okay.
and decided to do drugs and got a bunch of felonies. So,
Wise choice.
yeah,
Yeah.
great choices.
So you have your associate. So you've done the 2 years.
Yeah. So it should only take me a couple months to get my SUD-C, I'm hoping.
Wow. And then that makes you much more valuable as an employee working for any program,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the goal.
Yeah. Well, and what was she like to deal with in the program? I mean, you said she was very level-headed, and you were sort of not.
Yeah.
Is it so?
She was just so like honest and upfront, but always level. And I'm coming off alcohol, like I'm mad and I'm fine and I'm crying and I'm just a little psycho. And she was always just the same, so level-headed, always kind. Like even when I made mistakes, always kind to me. Like, okay, well, you did that. Okay, that's fine. Now we do this. And it just brought me peace of like, okay, I made a mistake and it's still okay. Like I'm not the worst human in the world. And that's how she does with it.
Does she hold boundaries well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does.
Some of the clients now call me the warlord.
Yeah. But they like you then.
They do like me. Yes.
Yes. Even though she held boundaries and then, like told us how it was, you could still go talk to her about anything and she'd be there for you.
Wow. And you need somebody like that when you're,
You do. You need someone to call you on your stuff and be there for you.
because at that stage, people don't realize you're really floundering.
Yeah.
Right?
You are. I think you're still trying to figure out who you are in sobriety.
Yeah.
And what you used to be before you were an addict and what you were as an addict, like none of it makes sense. So you need someone to just, most of the staff you need to just be there for you, hold you accountable, call you on it when you're doing something.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency is a big one for
But
me.
still kind.
Yeah.
Like you did this, it's not great. These are the consequences of your actions. Let's move forward. How can I help you?
As opposed to screaming and yelling or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
That's Stacy.
You're changing lives.
I hope so. That's why I'm here.
And that's why we wanted to have you on the podcast so people could understand what it's like in a position like yours.
Yeah.
And with the background you had, which is good that you had because you understand people better.
Right. And I know it's crazy to say, but I really think I was meant to go through what I went through, like doing drugs at such a late age, and so I could do what I'm doing now. Like I really feel like this is my calling and what I'm supposed to be doing with my life.
Well, we're out of time, and I thank you for joining us and sharing your life with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. Nicole, good to see you again.
You too.
Sober, finally.
Not as sassy. Less sassy.
And thank you for watching or listening to another edition of Odyssey House Journals.